Byju's, Sahara, Paytm, Star and Dream11. What is common between these companies? Well, if you guessed they all have sponsored the Indian cricket team, you are right. But is that it? No. These giant brands saw a dismal fate soon after the name started appearing on Indian cricket team's jersey. Coincidence? Or was there something more sinister at play here? In this video, I will uncover all brands which sponsored the Indian cricket team. What was the reason for their downfall? Why do brands shell out so much money on sponsorship at the first place? And most importantly, to answer the burning question, is sponsoring the Indian cricket team really a bad omen? So stick till the end and find out. It was the 1996 World Cup when fans started seeing Will's logo on the first ever colored jersey of Indian team. At that time, the World Cups were sponsored by business houses, and it was Will's again that sponsored the 1996 event. As a lead sponsor, Will saw India through 2 World Cups and 2 mini World Cups until ICC got the sponsorship rights of the event 99 onwards. But for those years of their association, Will's became a talking point nationwide amongst viewers as it presented the brand with a lot of visibility, catching the attention of viewers at stand and more of those at home in front of their screens. So why did they pull out? Well, the rules for surrogate advertising started becoming stricter, and because of that, Will had to end its association with the team. Interestingly, before this, the World Cups had been sponsored by all kinds of organizations, ranging from insurance companies like Prudential to other tobacco companies like Benson and Hedges, apart from Will's. Now comes the interesting part. First in the list of unfortunate brands association is Sahara Group. In the year 2001, Sahara bagged the sponsorship rights and their logo started flashing on Indian cricket jersey. From financial services to real estate to TV broadcasting, the group ran diverse businesses. But the organization eventually started facing several legal welters, leading to the fatal collapse of these business ventures. Nearly 3 crore investors were scammed by Sahara Finances, to which they were eventually found guilty of, and were asked by the Supreme Court to pay around 25,000 crores. The association ended in 2013. Amul covered this news with a witty "Ye bechare bina sahare" poster. Fast forward to 2014. Sahara chief Subrata Roy, along with 2 directors, were sent to Tihar jail. In 2014, Star TV bagged the team sponsorship for the next 3 years. Star TV's association with the Indian cricket team spanned from 2014 to 2017, where they were shelling out rupees 1.92 crores per match. Looks like a lot? Well, this was after they had got a 40% discount on the sponsoring rights. Crazy, right? Star saga gets more interesting here. Just like their soap opera, interestingly, Star TV had bought the broadcasting rights of BCCI matches at rupees 3,851 crore. Since they had both broadcasting and team sponsor rights, it put them in an interesting position where other stakeholders felt Star could be giving added advantage to themselves. It's like Spotify running their own ads on Spotify. So Star had to withdraw its team sponsorship contract as it prompted undue advantage over other sponsors. But their fate took a turn for worse with respect to the Indian cricket once Disney took over Star India. They no longer had the rights to independently broadcast the Indian Premier League, and this affected the finances of the company. And then the eventual arrival of Jio in the streaming league made the matter worse in coming years. Then came the year 2017 when Oppo became official sponsor of the Indian cricket team. Their tagline, "Inspiration Ahead," didn't sit well for them as their stint lasted only for 2 years. While China was getting its hand on several India-associated sports ventures, the growing India-China tension saw our government putting restriction on Oppo. Any chance left for the revival of the firm and its association went down the drain with the infamous Galwan clash with China. From 2019, Byju's, the edtech firm, took over from Oppo with a $55 million deal. For them, it was a good collaboration as the startup was on the up. You ask why? Because they had just secured a whopping $785 million from several investors like Sequoia Capital India, Qatar Investment Authority, Chan Zuckerberg Initiative, amongst others. The company had so many series of funding untouched that it could have gone for years without falling short of money. Yet down the years, during their sponsorship stint, it was in news for all wrong reasons. The firm's mass layoffs raised many concerns when they were able to pay $5 to $7 million annually to the football superstar Lionel Messi to be the brand ambassador of its social media extension. In fact, even this effort could not save the sinking fate of the company, as it would go on to cut its tie with the Indian cricket team amidst constant financial losses. Even currently, Byju's is facing a lot of trouble with resignation from its auditors, board members, and delay in financial reporting. The deal ended in 2023, and then came the fantasy sports platform Dream11. They not only clinched the jersey sponsorship, but also the rights for the IPL. They were signed up at $43.7 million, which is a major decrease from the $55 million deal with Byju's. Things were all rosy for the company, but soon the dream, pun intended, shattered when Indian government decided to levy a hefty 28% goods and services tax on fantasy sports platforms. And now this has put a lot of financial burden on Dream11, as it will become hard for it to maintain its revenue and stream while shelling so much money into sponsorship. This situation has now generated a big cloud of doubt on whether they will continue their association with the Indian cricket team. Just like Super Bowl in US or Champions League in football, IPL is one of the, if not the most lucrative window for the businesses who want to put their brand or product in front of majority of households. Brands are fighting for TV spots, sponsorship, collaborations to leverage this phenomenon, as cricket is now being played more than ever. The addition of strategic timeout of 2.5 minutes, twice in an inning of a T20 match, provides more room for brand advertisements, and sponsors can leverage it to their advantage. But once again, the real question is whether brands are still willing to be the Indian cricket sponsors, given the history of their predecessors is not so flowery, to say the least. So here's what I think about this decades-long episode from purely business point of view. Most of these brands did face a bad ending, but there's more to it than what meets the eye. For example, it wasn't just Wills that faced the heat of strictness on surrogate ads. It was the entire tobacco division, and as a result, they too were in the crossfire. What Sahara did was a crime any which way. Duping investors of their hard-earned money isn't gonna give you a Nobel Peace Prize. The fact that they thought they could get away with it is itself an indication that no matter how big or strong your ties are, law is going to give you back. For Star India, their contract with BCCI had tied up their hands, resulting them to no longer have the rights to broadcast IPL independently. In fact, there were two major reasons for parting ways. The first was citing the uncertainty around cricket. As unrealistic as it sounds now, ICC and BCCI did have some conflicts, or lack of clarity as they say, on revenue sharing model. As a result, Star thought of pulling out as a safe option. The other reason, which is not said out loud, was the conflict of interest, as Star were both broadcasting as well as jersey sponsor for the team. The China clashes made life difficult for not just Oppo, but all other major Chinese brands who were doing very well in the country. As for Byju's, from misfiring marketing strategies where they were spending over 30% of their revenue in advertising to questionable accounting practices, spree of acquisition, and misleading information, all led to an inevitable downfall. So superstitions aside, cutting a sponsorship deal is an excellent opportunity for brands who have deep pockets and want a country of 1.4 billion to know their names. The only downside is that a name will always be highlighted, and any wrongdoing of any stature or even the slightest controversy may cost you your game.